Is this better? Can you hear me? I hate technology so much. Please tell me that you can hear me. Hello, hello. Mic test. Mic check. It is better or I need better? I know I need better. I need an upgrade desperately. I'm really an amateur at this. I started during COVID. I'm not a tech person. I just got whatever equipment people told me to get. I haven't really done anything since. Well, I hope everyone could hear me. I was saying happy Monday, and if it's the beginning of your week, happy beginning of the week. And that I don't really have a week, so for me that is it's just Monday. And that I don't have any topics today. There was it's no, it's not muted, so it's better. Okay. And of course, they keep bumping my microphone down for some reason, so there's that issue too. Um, so yeah, like donate and Cash App and stuff, and I could get a better mic. Um, that's probably all the begging I will do today. I'm not very good at self promotion. As I discovered yesterday when somebody asked me for my website and I forgot that I even had one and I'm supposed to be promoting it, and that the whole reason I started this channel was to promote my, or one of the reasons was to promote the business I started, and I never talk about it or even remember that it's there. So it's open panel. The link should be at the top. The information is across the bottom of the screen. The big news for me lately is the I don't know if Kamala's going to get it or not. I'm preparing for her to. I don't know who. I'm not going to like any of the other people they pick anyway. So that was my worst nightmare. That was one of the main reasons I was willing to vote against Biden, was to prevent a President Kamala. With the DEI stuff, I think she's going to be even worse than he is, and that's the main reason that I'm opposing Biden in the first place. So I'm not hopeful. I was looking over the API guidelines for men from 2019, just before COVID and just before Biden. They make some odd claims. Like one of them is that violence and aggression is not innate in males. I think it's innate in all humans. I've seen women be violent and aggressive too. Most of the violence against me as a kid came from women, except for like some school bullying stuff. But we were all bullying each other. But the actual like uninitiated violence toward an adult, toward from an adult toward a child, all female. Um, so I question that. I think violence. We're monkeys. We're apes. I think it's an ideology or a belief that we're blank slates. We're not like every act we do is driven by some kind of socialized form of instinct instead of some kind of biological innate instinct. Like the much simpler explanation to me. I know I have innate aggression in me all the time. That just wells. It's chemical. And yes, emotions are conditioned by the story we're telling ourselves about them, or the framework it's filtered, etc., and that's socialized at an early age. But the emotional, the affect itself is certainly innate. I hope this is Brown's boy. Welcome.
It's Brown's boy.
What's up?
Not much. Just thought it was interesting what you were talking about. You know,
Oh,
yeah. When I listen to people, you hear some really interesting things. But yeah, like I'm with the children. Uh, that is the future. So whatever. I'm on board with any ideas with that.
Daniel, DEI. I'm fixated on DEI because it's very concerning and it's showing up in actual policy. Like it's having real world consequences and impact. Everybody fears that their group's going to take power and somehow insert something into the government bureaucracy that tilts it toward that. And that's exactly what DEI is doing. It's doing it in the academies, it's doing it in the training programs, the accreditation programs. Some states do it statewide, etc. So it's more than just a fear, it's an actual reality that's manifesting in front of my eyes. So that's one reason to be fixated on it, if that's what you want to call it. I'm not concerned about 2025. If it overhauls the bureaucracy and gets rid of the DEI, I'm probably support it even more. I'm far off future fears like on the horizon worry me less than things like the fire actually in the building at the time. I'm not the type of person that can sit there and talk myself into a lot of fear and anxiety over vague possibilities. I have to have more concrete to go on. So whatever's in Project 2025, I have to calculate that against my how effective do I think this administration is going to be in actually executing any of it. Well, I'll check Schedule F. I'll do it right now. I could take like to me if Kamala when they announced Biden was dropping out and Kamala's face was everywhere, it was like okay, this just got real. The fun is over. This is serious. I seriously have to stop this lady from getting in power because the DEI is just going to get worse. And by I mean me as a voter at the battle box and all the rest of us who have the same values around this. Schedule F, you said? Just the fact that it's called Schedule F bothers me. That's so like bureaucratic and nerdy. The backstory on Schedule F. So this looks like something he already signed in October of 2020 before he it established a new category for federal employees. It was rescinded by Biden. We will pass critical reforms making every executive branch employee fireable by the President of the United States. I thought it already was. Deemed to have some would be a so he's going to reclassify some of these civil servant roles as Schedule F, which allows them to be fired because they have an outsized level of influence, including confidential policy determining, policy making, or policy advocating, the argument claims. Is that what you're talking about? Like the ability to get rid of. All right, hang on. Let me. The Secret Service director. Yeah, I did see something like that, that they had turned down request. Did they give their side of it of why? Right, it's a proposal. From what I understand it, Project 2025 is a proposal. And Trump or whoever went, like Vance, whoever is ultimately in charge, can accept or reject the parts of it they want to, but they're not. It doesn't obligate anybody to follow it. It's just a proposal. And yes, like I don't. Everybody has influence on candidates. That's part of the political process. Is getting your influence prioritized over somebody else's. Um, I don't know about all this. Oh, they did the hear. Is it like the the congressional investigation on it? The kind you could see on C-SPAN. Um, I'll have to watch it. I watched a lot of those during RussiaGate. They kept me riveted. It was like at any second, the entire fate of the fate of the entire world would depend on what was happening with those questions in my mind. Hey, Jack. Oh yeah, that's the little. Yeah, I kind of took the weekend off and unplugged a little bit. So I haven't really been around the panelverse. I haven't really been looking at the news. Kamala really put me off. Like she was my worst fear even when Biden was in office that we would end up with the President Kamala. I don't trust her. I don't trust her to draw a boundary with the woke stuff. I think she's part of that. She put out that little equity video. I don't think she's very bright or articulate. So people that worry about that in Biden and even Trump, I have the same worrying Kamala. None of them inspire confidence. But at least Trump, I know for a fact, Trump will draw a boundary on the DEI and keep it and hold it and stand by it. And that's what men should have been doing this whole time. So I can trust him to at least do that, and that's all I need in a politician right now. I thought it was just reclassifying them so he could fire them and put his people in. But then the next president could fire his people and put their sycophants in. I don't mind if presidents have sycophants around them because, first of all, I think that's an exaggeration. I don't think that's really how it works on the ground. Everybody has their own competing interest, even the staff. Um, but if I understand you right, this is the fear of like a scenario that could maybe happen if all the stars and dominoes line up right. And I'm less like my mind doesn't even work in that territory. That's so looking at it on paper, my mind is not immediately jumping to that conclusion. And it doesn't have me as worried as the stuff I currently see embedded in the state with the DEI and the social justice ideology. You were the first person. Oh, you mean Kamala or what do you mean it gets rid of overtime? Like, first of all, how can you mean for their staff or for all the rest of us? That seems very powerful. It could if it can eliminate overtime nationally. But if it means the staff, like it's going to bump them to a salary model instead of a hourly model, that's not enough for me to worry about over DEI. And the free weather reports, that's kind of troublesome. I think the public should have access to as much free information as it can possibly be given. I think our democracy depends on it and well sourced, accurate information. Well, you know what? Let's just go over Project 2025 and see if there's anything in it. I wasn't really taking it seriously because nobody else on Trump's team seemed to either.
Yo, did
It
you
seemed
know
like
one?
more of a Republican boogeyman talk. I mean, a left boogeyman talking point than anything that the people on the right were necessarily pushing. Do what, Brownsbor?
Just that one of the people in Trump's cabinet. I think his name's like. I could be wrong. I think it's Cuomo or something. But that dude was the judge who gave Epstein a prison sentence where he could leave jail for like 7 hours a day. You ever hear about that?
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
No.
it was the first time Epstein
First
got
one.
caught, and he got a couple. Like I think he got like fucking 4 or 5 years or something. And the stipulations were that he was able to leave jail, like he could just go home for like 7 hours a day. And that guy is in. I don't know, but you know what? I can't blame this shit, man. I mean, these people are insane. What? Even if I could make sense of it, I don't think it would make sense.
So they cut a deal or something. And I'm looking at this Project
Yeah,
2025.
I mean, Cuomo did it. You know, like they're just they're not arresting the criminals.
I'm on page 5. What is it? 592. But I'm not seeing anything about the overtime rule yet. But it could. That's because the PDF viewer numbers the pages differently than the actual document. Okay.
Overtime. I don't even want to go there for the regular time.
I know, huh?
I have a friend that says he would pay to not go to work.
Well, the government did during COVID. They paid a lot of us to not go to work. It was great. It was the best job I've ever
Dude,
had in my life. Probably the most money I've ever made in my life.
I remember my friend got a call from his boss like during that stuff, and he came back in the room. He's like not good. He's like they just like didn't want to do it, but they said they had to lay me off because of the COVID thing. And he goes, but they're gonna like pay me like $600 a month or something. And I was like, there's no way, like there's no way that the government would like give money to the people, right? Like, and I was wrong, but yeah, I didn't take any of that stimulus money. It sounds stupid, but I kind of did it on principle because I don't want them coming back and being like, "Hey, remember that money we gave you? Oh, yeah, like we own part of your house or something now." Because
Well,
I
they
don't
wouldn't do
trust
that.
them
You did have to
motherfuckers,
pay
dude.
tax on it, but I don't think they would have taken your house over it.
I don't know, dude. I don't trust them, man. Fuck, man. You ever
That's what it
like
comes down
look at a
to, I think.
cell phone bill contract? It's like 100 pages or something.
Jack, I'm on 592 now. I am looking at it. It does look like it applies to the entire Department of Labor, so it would apply to all Americans, not just the executive department, which was I thought that's what the project was oriented towards. So I'm gonna dig deeper into that.
Europe doesn't even work full time. They like their full time is 32.
And I'm open to policy overhaul. That doesn't seem like the end of democracy to me. If people have different ideas about how to do a certain policy. That's a good question. First of all, I was assuming like I don't rely on the government to gatekeep my information at all. There's in this day and age, there's so many different there's a jillion sources we can get information from. So I don't think the problem is lack of access. I think it's evaluating sources. Like how do we know which sources we could trust to help us put together our picture of reality? That's why I try to use as many diverse sources as I can and credible ones, and then kind of get a little sketch. What do you call it? Abduction.
I always looked at it as dots of information, and then if like later on in life, I've even like seen some of those dots that I was like, I don't know, maybe that means something, maybe it doesn't, right? And later on, it like matches up with like something else, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah, because pattern recognition is a real thing, and Spurgs like us are very good at it sometimes, but sometimes we think it's part of a pattern, and then we get locked into confirmation bias, and it takes us down a false track. Whereas we have to be very
that's
discerning to make
everybody.
sure
That's
that what we
everybody.
think is a pattern actually is. Oh, what is the hour amount? You mean until it's overtime? I, I think it's different at each job, but around 40, maybe 38. It was 40 was like the rough figure in my day. Over 40 hours was overtime.
Yeah, same here. The over 40 is overtime for me.
Over 40.
Yep, 1.5 times any hour over 40. That's actual working hours. If there's a holiday, that doesn't count towards overtime.
If you work on the holiday, is it like time and a half or double in there?
Um, yeah, but they usually don't schedule any work on the holidays anymore. So
Oh, okay. Let's see. Proposing if you make over 35K. Yeah, that's something like that. They can float it, and then it would have to go through the political process. And I'm not sure that they
that
tried that in
that's
Seattle. That was one of the first cities to do the $15 minimum wage. They raised it up just at the citywide level, and there was a battle playing out. Some people thought it was good, some didn't. So they debated, and I got to watch that. And so to me, it would be something like that. They might be successful if there's enough political will and they can garner support for it, or they might not.
over 35K in overtime. That's silly.
Hank, hey, Hank is my son. That is my, what do you call it? He's that. First of all, I'm part black myself, so he's my panel son.
Correct.
So I claim him. So they come out all colors. If they're my kids, they can come out any color of the rainbow, any shade. So
Hank's a good.
he's yes.
Hank's a good.
I wouldn't say I'm a DEI hire too. I don't know if y'all know that, but so we're both DEI here. I brought Hank here. We're both DEI hires. You're welcome.
Yeah,
Affirmative.
and Hank's a good paneler. He sometimes he goes how sometimes he goes harder with like a hard ER on some of you guys.
Yeah, and he could
No,
do that. He
I
can
didn't
grant
mean anything by
passes
that. I
for
tried
all
to
the
turn that
guilty
into a
white people.
joke. I think I fucked that up.
Oh, well,
Oh well,
I giggled, even not even knowing what it is. Just my intuition told me it would have been funny if you pulled it off.
but that's why you had to keep practicing.
Dobez, well, I'm learning today that's in that Project 2025 that the Heritage Foundation that set of policy proposals that they're trying to get the new administration to adopt, and part of it is something affecting how they do overtime for Americans, and I'm just learning about it now, so that is concerning. I agree.
Yeah, they try to steal more money from me.
Not as much
Um,
as DEI, but
Overt time. You guys hear
nobody
that?
does.
I'm
Nobody
kidding.
does. That's why Vance's speech and the Republican Party move, even if they're totally bullshitting, they're bullshitting with the right message at the right time. I think the working class people need someone that can articulate that for them right now, and I think they did a good job. Hey, Chuck.
Are you sure,
Sup,
Chuck?
Chuck?
Yeah. See, I'm getting sloppy.
No, that overtime rule has been in place for a while, and it was 35,000, but Biden raised it. It's still in play.
Daniel, I was around for the first tax cut, so I saw that one go through. You might be right. I'm willing to take the hit. That's how awful I think this pseudo junk science DEI. If they were trying to insert astrology into the federal government, some of you might feel the same way. It's
And,
intellectually absolutely unacceptable to me from a government like the United States. It
and
makes me
Dobez,
ashamed.
I
What?
only allowed it to take the money from
I'm just kidding
psychology.
with you. I'm
That's
just kidding with you.
if they
I was
take the
going to
money.
tell.
But Hank's
Go
Dude,
ahead,
I
working it
would.
Dan.
for his reparations, though.
I can let the reparations go
Okay.
by, but I need some skin in the game from some of the bureaucrats. So I can take
Good
a
luck with
buy my
that.
reparations.
Yeah, Dobez.
I honestly think this
In the
is a
United
serious. Yeah,
most
go for it, Chuck.
companies in the United States, 8 hours is straight time, an hourly rate. Most places that anything over 8 hours is paid at time and a half, unless there's special stipulations to the rule. Like some companies have made deals with their workers that they're allowed to schedule them overtime at a straight rate, but they get more days off down the
That's
later in the
true.
week.
Yeah. So at my place, they roll per week. So I had to go overtime per the week, not per the day. I
Right,
did for
right.
today. I actually worked like 8 hours and a half. But unless I go over 40 for a week, I don't get any overtime out.
Yeah, anything over 40 hours then is considered overtime. And the max you're allowed to work is 16 hours a day as a regular working person, not a salary. But I remember one time I had worked 16. I went home. I was home for 2 hours and they wanted me to come back to work. And I informed them that by law, that's illegal. Well, they called back and said they didn't have a problem because anything over 16, they have to pay a huge fine to the government. And the plant manager said he didn't care about the fines. Would I please come back to work? But
I don't know how you do it. I really
he
don't.
Uh,
gave me triple time for coming back out.
Well,
I know how he does it.
I hate you.
someone I know.
Lanza,
Well,
do you
someone I
remember what you
know.
were trying to say earlier about what you were saying?
Not
Like
really,
what I
but
think about this is.
yeah, not really.
Oh,
But I know someone who worked like 90, 100-hour weeks like before in the summer, and they told me that they drove home and they were just so tired. They fell asleep with their car on, and then like an hour or two later, they woke up and thought they were still driving, but they were parked. They said it
that's
scared the
Yep,
shit out of them.
that
Yeah,
is.
yep.
those micro sleeps.
That's
Yeah, watch out for those micro sleeps. But yeah, I actually on Sunday
But
parked at the Sheets and took a nap so I can make it all the
I
way
just
home.
don't. I just don't like how they got us working triples just to eat some rice and chicken and push the credit to the limit
Are you working triple
just
to
to
eat
drive
rice?
a Honda
They don't have
Civic,
me
huh?
working anything. I wish they had me working something. Please, I'm available.
You want to go into logistics?
All of you people that are working triples and getting called in, and the state's even willing to
Yo,
pay the fine because you like where those
DHL.
are the jobs I want. Where are those? I
If
don't
you got
mind
a
working.
DHL around you, they're pretty good company. They're a pretty good company to work for.
Yeah, if you go into logistics, I'm sure they'll need you all the time.
Oh wait, you gotta
Just
have a
even
driver's
know.
license.
I do.
Yeah, he's not a sovereign
I don't have a
citizen.
car, but I could drive.
That's fine.
Just lie, dude. Just tell them. One time I got a job. They were like, "What would you do?" And it was for Honeywell. And they go, "What would you do if you weren't applying for this job?" I said, "I would probably be a like a CPA." And then I don't know why. Like I just my personality took over, man. I was like, yeah, but I hear that they have like the highest suicide rates. So I
No,
mentioned
that's
that.
dentist.
That's what I heard now, but like I mentioned that in an interview, and I couldn't believe that I said that, and then they still gave me the job.
Browns boy, what would you do for a Klondike bar?
Dude, I don't know, man.
I would give mine to him. I don't even like them, so he could just have mine. I guess we'll never know.
For a Klondike bar, I'd get rid of mental illness. That's what I would do.
How?
Burning the DSM.
First of all, identifying it is part of the problem. Like, how would you know when you've gotten rid of it? Because you first have to know what it is.
You just burn all the copies of DSM and mental illness is gone. It's
yeah, that's ambitious, but for a Klondike bar, why not? Okay, so is that it for Project 2025 or the fears allayed? I'm going to look into it more, actually.
Have you ever thought, like, you know how some of those like real short people, like 5'3", 5 foot, stuff like that. You ever notice how like they're usually pretty upset and stuff? I was wondering if they were called height supremacists.
I'm so tall, I don't pay attention to the people way down there. I don't even notice them. A height supremacist?
Yeah.
I have been told that before that there's like tall privilege. It's not so much privilege as it has an effect on everybody who's not tall, and you have to be aware of the effect you're having on the people around you for being tall and also male. And I said, no, I don't. I don't have to be aware of anything. They're adults. They can handle their own reaction around me.
Yeah, that just makes me think of a basketball team. Volleyball. You know, if I want, that's one of the reasons why I want to go live in Mexico for a little bit. If I started a volleyball team down there, there's no chance we'll ever lose.
Hitch a ride with Moose. He goes there half the year. Go shack up with Moose for a few weeks. Daniel, let's see. Many people have jobs. You mean in the U.S. that they have jobs but are still below? Yeah, I am for anything that helps the working class right now. Like any kind of relief. I don't think I remember my day where you could have the parents working 2 jobs and have a house and 2 cars and all that. I would like to get back to that version of the middle class. So anything that helps people with that. I don't think families should be having to work 3 jobs just to buy the rice and beans at the prices that they are today. A lot of that to me looks like it happened under Biden, though.
So my grandma, amazing person. I don't know if you guys have like your grandmas,
I was a grandma's boy. She was the best person in my life. She made me what I am today. So if you hate me, blame her.
She doesn't even let me spell like it GRANDMA. I'm not even allowed to put a D in there. It's 2 M's. But anyway, she married a dude that is personal friends with Rudy Giuliani, and this guy nationalized an ambulance company. And he had met Joe Biden through two of these. Like, his job was to, like, okay, we want to make a company national. So what do we have to do? Well, we have standards that we have to have set. So he would set these standards, and then he would look around the country to see which ambulance companies fit those standards, and then he would fly there and have a meeting with them. And then he would tell them, he would say, look, this is just a proposal, okay? This is what we're doing. If this works, you get to keep everything you're already doing, plus, like, whatever, because once you go public, like, there's more money involved. So, like, I don't know the details, but it's basically like, you're going to do what you've always been doing. You're just going to make a lot more money, or just get like $2 million right off the rip or something. And yeah, he met Biden like a couple times that way. And, and I've been visiting my grandma and like him, and I love talking to him, because how else am I going to get the inside scoop on the New World Order, right? So
Yeah, we need that.
I've said it twice to him, and each time he's replied the same way. I go, people say the New World Order, you got to watch out for it. Each time he has said, it's already here.
Well, I wish it would do something for me.
Yeah.
I don't believe in it.
Yeah, did you guys hear about the Gen X trucker who went back to college for political science?
Here, I'll drop the article he sent me.
Yeah.
Liberal science?
Yeah, political science. He went back to college. He was a trucker first. He went back to college for a political science degree. And now he's back working as a trucker, making less than he did before, still holding on to all that debt.
Daniel, what's the solution then? What about something like UBI?
Oh, that's what I was going to say, is if you can, like, I didn't think I was going to be interested really in metal fabricating. Like, I applied for this job once. It was like for metal, or it was for fabrication, right? Like, I didn't even know what that meant. Like, I thought I was going to be making like hats or clothes, like a sweatshop or something. And then, no, I get there and it's like, dude, like this place taught me like basically everything about how to weld, how to form blueprints, how to prototype, how to see the image from the front angle, the side angle, the top angle, everything like that. So skills like that. And dude, it only took me like, now you can go get these skills faster than this, but it took me like probably like 2 years to like kind of really understand, okay, like I could actually just do this myself, right?
Was it an apprenticeship program, or you just showed up?
They definitely have programs that teach you like these types of trades. Like in my area, there's it's kind of like a community college, career, but it focuses on trades, yeah. And like
CCAC, kind of like that.
If you don't know what you're doing or something, and you want to like learn like something really freaking new and cool, definitely go get those classes. Definitely.
Yeah, it's called trade school.
You have some good ideas and some good suggestions.
Well, it's like how much of your time that you spend now is going to be applicable later, like Chuck, like electricity. What do you think electricity is going to go out of style? You know what I mean? Like,
well, hopefully live streaming too. Shit, I lost it. Oh, so when you showed up for this job, the initial job, your weirdness didn't throw them off or anything? They're like, great.
No.
You're great.
I told them
we want to teach you this.
Yeah, they asked me if I ever took shop class. I said no. And then they're like, and then I just remember being like, look, man, like I just put things on auto suggestion. So like for me, it's just about getting it in, or getting the work in, getting the work done, and getting it out. Yeah, they love me. Like, I know Chuck was telling a story a couple days ago about how like they would like always be promoting him and stuff. They would similarly do that with me, but like only with words. But like
Oh,
you know, not
Not
it
yeah,
didn't.
in
them
actuality.
attaboys don't pay shit.
Yeah, dude. Like, yo, but it's good though. It's good though, because I would say I would suggest welding personally. I would
Yeah,
suggest
actually,
Little,
metal forming
I actually
and
know.
welding.
to blind myself with the little
Yeah,
light.
I actually done a lot of shop class. I actually already know how to weld, MIG and arc weld, and also did a makerspace afterwards. And I'm looking for a different one, but they're
But
just not that popular. The tech shop went on under back in I think 2010. So just really the closest thing we have is art studios. They don't have industrial here. They just have
in
stuff for
Pittsburgh, you don't have
ceramics.
welding.
We have no. Listen, we don't have any. There's like one or two maker spaces left because they're not. They don't have that many. You can go in a corporation somewhat, but you don't really have access to the tools unless you're corporate.
I could tell you right now, if you, when I was working at that place, this was, oh God, dude, I don't even know, 5, 6, 7 years ago. But when I heard some of the people I would have conversations with that would come to the shop, that would be like the owners of their own businesses and stuff. And one of them told me, they're like, if you just go work for Lincoln Electric, like they're just going to start you out at like 60K and they're going to give you all the training and they have like sick bonuses and all that stuff. Like,
I'm calling them today.
I don't know.
What if Lanza? If I showed up at Lincoln Electric today or a welding place, and I just showed up and say, "Hey, I want to learn to do this," do you think they would react well to me or not? That's what I can't ever determine. Or would it be? Would I just be weird? I'm overqualified.
How are you overqualified?
Easy.
For manual labor in general, because that what I'm thinking is they're going to want that job to somebody that wants to make a career out of this, and
Okay,
I'm
so you don't want to make
obviously
it.
not I'm fit for different things than that. So that right there
Okay.
I think is, and then the weirdness, just the general weirdness.
It's at a point where you might as well just lie to them because they're lying to you. So just not
Yeah.
tell them you qualify, overqualified.
Honestly, that's why
Fuck.
you plead the fifth. Like you don't advertise that you don't necessarily want to be there forever. You just go in with the intention of, hey, I want this job today, and then worry about not having the job tomorrow.
That's what my friends told me, that I need to learn how to lie if I'm going to be successful.
No, it's not. It's not learning how to lie. It's learning how not to give details that are not pertinent to the conversation. Like it's not.
Well,
Well,
I mean,
that too.
Hey,
Even that I'm
for the
screwed.
business owner,
No.
he might think it's pertinent, but as a person who's expendable, it is not pertinent for you to tell the person how long you're going to work for them, because if you
I don't
they're
know
going
what's
to replace
pertinent.
you
I
the
give
next day.
people
Let's
all
be
the
frank.
information that I think is helpful and that they can figure out what's pertinent.
Yeah, let's be frank. You are learning. You need to learn how to lie. It's lying by omission. Let's be honest about it. We just not tell them what they don't need. We don't think they need to know.
I don't know how to determine what somebody needs to know or not. I just have no way to determine that. I just
Yeah.
give
I'm
them the
terrible at
information.
So what you do is tell them as little as possible. Only give them answer the question specifically asked for.
I can't do that. I'm trying to create a relationship there. Not that seems
the
like
thing is, they have to be willing to create that.
adversarial, not collaborative.
Yes, it is adversarial.
It
Yes,
seems like
it is.
defense, not.
Our culture is really stupid, but that's how they want to play the game. That's the game they set up.
There's a whole different psychology behind it that I don't have.
Yeah,
you're right.
But yeah, our culture is stupid. It's killing us slowly, but that's the way they want to do it.
It depends on what you want, because like you could take any suggestion that you want, but like if you just kind of define your terms, like me, and also have faith that whatever you put your effort into, as long as you do that honestly, like it's gonna work out. Like you don't, like I told that boss, like I could have been like, I didn't even know what they did, but if I did know that they did blueprinting, I guess I could have said like, yeah, I took shop. Like it doesn't matter. But it matters what you want to do, man. It really, you want to be in a place that treats you like, It doesn't just treat you like an employee. Like when you go there, it's like a second, spot
I've
where
had
people get
those,
together. And
So
but even those blow up. They have poor object constancy. They can't
yes,
remember that I'm the same
maybe you just
amazing
paint
employee
yourself
that they love
brown.
for 2 years.
Maybe you just paint yourself brown, get some what is it,
didn't work for
melanin
me.
implants or whatever, and
That Brown sport that didn't work for me. So we need to approach this differently. We need to approach this differently than someone like Brown sport who just stumbles through everything. We actually need to plan things out.
they call me
Brown sport
Stumbledore.
Yes, they do call it Dumbledore. So we actually need a
Like to
methodology.
be more strategic about it.
Yes, we need to be
Tactical.
strategic
Yeah, I
about it.
agree.
We can't
About it.
stumble. We can't stumble way through everything that Brown sport does because we'll
Well,
be
no, it
too-
works for. I wouldn't call it dumbing. It works for him. It sounds more intelligent than anything I've been trying.
Well, that's because the whole world's optimized for him.
Why?
About that.
Because you can
Rebecca,
stumble
I
through
can't
everything
help
at
you.
the
I'm a
same time.
connector. I'm an Enneagram. The connector type. I'm a people person. I'm an extrovert. I can't turn that off. If there's a human being in my vicinity, I've got to establish some kind of human connection with it because we're more than just employees. We're more than just social roles, and my brain can't not see that.
Yeah.
Okay. I got a great story.
Mhm.
So I went one day. I wanted to see how much like my vehicle would be worth if I traded it in down the street. And like down the street is it's called a serpentini, but I figured it out that really means that the man who owns it is a tiny serpent. But that's besides the point. But anyway, so it's like they're like, oh, we'll give you $2,500 for the trade in or whatever, and I was like, okay, cool. Oh, and then he invited me in. Now I wasn't expecting to stop there, so I didn't even have shoes on. And I go, hey man, I was like, I don't have shoes on. You don't care, like, that I walk in to this nice building? And he's like, no, we don't care. So the guy calls me back like a week, and we had our discussion, and it was clear. He called me back like a week later, and with his like little social pressure tactics that I laughed at, he's like, yeah, we talked, and and I'm like, yeah, man, I was like, we both, I respect you, I respect your time personally, but we've already talked, and we both already know what I want, but I thank you for your personal time. And he goes, if you come back and you want to test drive a vehicle, you have to wear shoes.
Oh,
So
maybe
it's like,
legally.
dude, they're just making, most of them are making shit up to take advantage of you. Yeah, like.
Do you know in Louisiana when I was growing, they had a law that
they're not
you could
respectable.
not drive a car barefoot or with flip flops, and if a cop stopped you, you had flip flops on. That was illegal, and people were paranoid to drive with flip flops. Yes, what Jack's saying right here. Some states do have that, so I could see for liability reasons they would need you to have shoes, depending on the state.
Can't drive with flip flops. That's hilarious.
Or barefoot.
So
flip flops was that gray area that the cops could get you on if they wanted to be.
Are you required to just have shoes in the car, or do you have to have them on?
No, you have to have them on your feet when you operate the gas pedal and the clutch. And
yeah, brake. That's what the politicians wear when they're in doing their meetings. They're always flip flopping.
Well, maybe that's how we ended up with that law. Oh wait, we're getting.
But like, how many hours a week do you want to work, man?
You mean like this backup job?
Yeah, like you said, I want to have a job that I like to do.
A day, part time. Nothing.
So
I'm not
about
looking for commitment.
16 to 20 hours a week.
Yeah, I could probably.
I don't see why you can't get a job that somehow pays you like $30 an hour to do 14.
I don't know where to find them. I don't know how to find them. They're not showing up on my job searches, and I've looked at the temp agencies.
Oh, the temp agencies are not where I would look for anything over like minimum wage. Because they promise you, or they don't promise nothing, but it's up to the company that'll hire. Oh fuck yeah. I don't know, Chuck, what do you think? There's no big companies like Columbia Gas or like that are gonna hire you for like 16 or whatever, but Have you ever just like walked down the street and just been like, you know what, this place
Yeah, but
looks
I
interesting
have
to
a
me?
complex that I'm too weird. I don't interface with people
Are you
like
serious?
that.
Why don't you
I
just
can
do what I do,
interface with them
bro? I just say
socially.
random
Like if I
shit.
saw them walking down the street, I could start chatting with them. But if it's for a like to make an impression for a job, I my confidence level is 0 after living up
All
here.
you got to
Like
do,
I
bro, is
already
go in
know.
and
In
say,
fact,
hey,
this is what I worry about more. I don't worry that I'm gonna make a bad impression. I worry that an actual fight's gonna break out. Can I keep a fight from breaking out or not?
what?
That's how bad it is.
You know what?
Bro,
Try
why
the
would they
martial arts
fight you?
studio then.
Because I'm a white
Yeah.
male from the South, and it freaks them out. It's
You,
like the cat among the pigeons,
I
just
gotcha.
walking into a place.
So you should walk into a martial arts studio. So if a fight's gonna break out anyways, you might as well be trained
All
to
right,
do it.
here's
They
what
have
you
one
do.
by my house.
You get probably like a blunt and you smoke like half of it. And then you walk down your street and you look and feel with your energy which places you might want to spend some time in. That's whatever. You just go in there and you say, hey, my name's Jeff. I'm from the area, and I saw your store. I thought it was really interesting. I thought it was a place I'd like to work, and I have this much time available. Do you have anything to accommodate that?
Bro, I
And then they'll
literally
tell you yes or no.
check this out, guys. Friday, I got pissed off. There's some non-negotiables that happened, and so I left work abruptly, and I immediately went from work into the bike shop that was working on my bike, and they not only like work on bikes, but they sell bikes and they sell ATVs and like just fun shit. And I walked in and I said, "All right, who's in charge here? And how many jobs do you got available? Let me know what's going on." And I interviewed right there, and they told me just fill out an application if I want the job, and then I go back in there and get the job. That's how easy it is to get a job right
Yeah, but
now.
you have that straight white male privilege. That was your
Yes,
privilege.
you're straight right and neurotypical. I'm not sure that
I
will ever happen to me.
I
I
will
don't think
say if
it's.
yeah, go ahead.
I think it's just a body. I don't think it's a straight white privilege. I think it's just a breathing body who's willing to do something.
Yeah. Oh, for the maybe so. That's what I'm looking for. I'm just looking to be a breathing body. Point
Yeah,
me
I would just
where to
if
go.
if you're looking to get hired, I would probably not wear the antlers. That's the only thing.
Oh, I don't. I haven't taken them out in public yet. But this
But
is Brad. I have. This is what keeps me from doing what you said because there's a rock climbing gym a few blocks from my house. There's an
Sounds
improv
great.
comedy shop a few blocks from my house, and they always do these little like things where the public can come in and every time I go look at them, they have woke night where black people get in free. They have
Sounds awesome.
feminist night where so I'm like these are big red flags for somebody like me. Just look at what
What
happened with the Satanists. It's the same type of people
with the
as the Satanists
Satanist?
I just got canceled from. They are so woke up here that the minute they detect I have any political opinion different, it has nothing to do with the activity that the thing's centered around at all. There's a
You just
political.
this is where you could not white lie,
you
but
gotta
you could
move,
like
Jeff.
because like I've been to comedy clubs,
I'm
man,
doing
and I
it. All
like
they have to do is
you
look up YouTube.
you could be
Yes,
a
I
but
can't hide
server.
it. I'm not someone that can mask my political opinions.
yes,
I'm
but you
better
have a
than
black
anybody.
Yeah,
son.
you
You should
are.
be fine. You have a black son. You should be fine.
What political opinion do you need to bring people who are wasted laughing at a comedian food and be nice to them? And then anything they say, like, "Oh, I'm a Republican. What about you?" You just be like, "Yeah, me too." That's how I was
All
able
the
to.
woke
That's
stuff,
probably how
all the
I got your
idiotic stuff.
table.
Especially you don't live up here. Especially if you're a white male and you're tall, like I am, you are under scrutiny. You know how like when a black person walks into a grocery store, security they're like under scrutiny the whole time to see if they're going to steal some ice cream. That's what it's like being a white male. The minute you walk into these places, you're under scrutiny, a higher level of scrutiny than ordinary people would be
Huh.
about what you're all about.
You know what's
I
weird
don't know.
is it sounds
Yeah,
like the place you live is more racist and segregated than the place I live because people walk into the store all the time and like It doesn't matter what color they are here in Maine. Like literally, they're just treated. We treat everybody equal, and we don't even think about that shit. Like it doesn't even like cross our
Crazy.
minds. Like we say, "What's going on, dude?" Like, and just I don't know, man. It's weird. It's like the farther left you get of the state, the more fucked up it is, and the more
Yeah.
like segregated it is. It's not
It's
more
Alice in
inclusive.
Wonderland, upside down world here. It really is.
Like we're
how
more
about
tolerant of people here.
uh, how about
I'm ready to
Megacorp?
move to a red state.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm saying right now, logically in my brain, you being a server at some place that you feel that you want to be a server at, man, you can make, especially if you get like the Thursday, Friday, Saturday shifts or whatever, you'll come away with $700 a week off of like whatever,
Am I
like
lagging or
20.
is it
I
nice?
will for the first few weeks until the social stuff kicks in. You're probably right, but I know the pattern by now, and it's see that I'm doing what I told you not to do. This is confirmation bias.
I went to
I
work as
believe
somebody that I
there's a
wasn't
pattern
before.
that I'm perceiving. But,
One of my,
huh?
this is when we were real young, like 16. One of my friends got a job at like Abercrombie and Fitch or whatever at the mall. And he called me. He's like, I'm going to call off. I'm going to have fun and do whatever. I was like, yeah. I was like, I'll go in for you. And like, they didn't
They let
even
him do that.
notice, bro. Like, yo, oh no. You feel,
I think so, Frank. I don't know. Ask him. Moose, are you back?
Yeah, kind of. I think so. I mean, only for like this channel.
Chuck has been
He's
listening the
taking your place.
most.
He's muscling in on your territory, Frank. Frank, yes, for a change, I am. This is about me, 100%. I am willing to take. I am the anomaly here. I am the outlier. It is definitely a Jeff thing, but it's a Jeff thing in combination with
Yo, Jeff
the
knows he's the
social
shit
norms
like a
and expectations here.
colonoscopy, man.
But I am definitely the common denominator among all of this and the culture. Oh. It's good to
Why
see
do
you,
you
Frank.
take it personal? Why do you take it do you take it personal if they come up with these?
I take it personal. It's the amount of times it I don't take it personal the first time or the second time, but the 10th time it starts to seem personal, even if it technically isn't, which I'm not sure it's not.
Yeah,
It's
same here.
personal in the sense of I'm a stereotype. It's not personal in the sense that it's against me,
What?
Jeff,
How
personally.
can
'Cause
you
they don't know me.
stereotype a waiter?
It's easy.
Come to Seattle and find out how
They
people
they
like
do
you
it
get
all the
treated.
time.
I think iFi lasted longer off the internet than I did.
Oh, he never
Yeah, he's
left.
back too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
he
I'm
never
not
left.
worried about. I'm not
We're
worried
digital
about
drug
fucking up the
addicts.
waiter's day. You know what I mean? Like,
Admit it.
All my friends are digital. Isn't that sad?
Mine too.
Yep.
And they're barely friends.
Not all mine. I have some physical friends still.
I'm trying to get some. It's hard.
Yeah, it is.
where? Oh, do you own a
I
bike?
just want to have a freaking barbecue with some
Uh,
big ass steaks and some watermelon and some fucking hot dogs. I don't even like hot dogs, but I'll cook them for you guys.
where?
Yo, hey, why
I'm
don't
just
you work
saying,
at a
I'm like,
dispensary?
that's the kind of shit I like
Let's
to
all go up to Moose's.
eat. Well, I don't work at a dispensary because I used
No,
to
I
work.
was saying Jeff. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea, Jeff. If you want to learn more about weed, why don't you
Those
work at
people
a
are so high they
dispensary?
don't even know what's going on, bro.
You know what?
That's
That's
not
not a bad
true.
idea, but the weed shop by my house just got like held up in an armed robbery a few months ago too.
Yep.
Nah,
Yeah.
don't be afraid of a little armed robbery. All you got to do is hand over the shit, and you're all safe.
I think it's
Yeah.
a healthy figure.
Yeah, they're gonna stereotype you
Something
as the
to get
guy
rid
who's
of.
gonna give them the money. That's all.
Yeah, they're not going to stereotype you as someone who's going to fight back.
No, you're
Jeff.
right. That's not. I've tried. I'm trying to network in my subcultures. You're right. The weed people. I went to some BDSM things. They were very woke and like feminist oriented.
Yeah,
And
how do those
the
people not have
Satanists, because
jobs?
that group of Satanists I got canceled from was a local group. So they do events and stuff, and I was starting to make connections with them, and then I got canceled for my political opinion. So when that happens enough
Political
times,
opinion.
you develop a complex about It's like Lucy and the Football, Charlie
That's
Brown. You're
weird.
like, okay, this is going to be Lucy and the Football all over again.
I have an idea. Have you tried
Political
shopping for a
opinion.
different? Have you tried shopping for a different religion? Because I did.
Well, I've been doing the
Stop.
Jesus thing lately,
hmm
and I'm going to give an update on that soon. But it's been very interesting. I'm quite
Praise God.
enjoying it. I'm getting
Yeah.
a lot of mental benefit from it.
Yeah, because that's pretty much what I did. I shopped for religions, and I found what's called Unitarian Universalism because it's a creedless religion just like Discordianism, except it has some infrastructure. It hasn't really. I haven't tried to use a network, but at least I have a base to start from. Better than nothing. I could tell that LDS churches screw off when they contact me over the weekend because I have them double booked. So
I think this channel is going to do well. I really do, because of the discussions that are able to be had here, where it's not like some little drama, like whatever. People have fun here. I think this channel could do really, 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 really well. Honestly,
Don't get my hopes up.
I'm
Yeah,
not getting.
I
No,
do
I'm
too.
just
That's
saying.
why I
In
keep doing it a
I'm
little
being
bit.
honest. In comparison to like what's available, I mean,
I
Yeah,
think
those
it all
drama
comes
channels
down.
are
Go ahead, Chuck.
draining. Those drama channels are draining. Channels like this are like a oasis in the desert. You walk away
Yes,
feeling good about yourself.
Oh, damn.
definitely. Like that's why I like coming here. But the thing is that we got to make sure not to ostracize people, and we gotta understand that like we're not gonna understand each other at times. So we got to just have a level of respect that we all have for each other. That's why us five get along. We all have a level of respect for each other, you know, or the
yeah,
I think
like
that's
conversation.
true, and I think we have the ability to talk out any conflict or issues, and I think that's important. Like the ability to resolve conflict through dialogue
Yeah.
is important
I
too, and
think
I
we
think
ought
we
to
all
have
have
a
that.
6-foot rule.
It's that porcupine story about finding that comfortable distance, and I think we have that with each other. But Moose, what was the ostracism about? Has that been happening? Because some
I
people are
don't.
self-ostracizing, I've noticed.
I think it's a self thing, and I think also like there's times where the discussion gets pretty heavy, and then it goes into a territory of borderline disrespectful, and then one person ends up not coming back around or whatever, which is it's self. A lot of it is self weeding out, and everybody's finding their own place. But I just don't want to make it like because I can turn the asshole on, and if I'm like an asshole, I can push people away pretty easy. So I'm trying not to do that.
no.
I don't really have an issue with
I'm
it.
just kidding.
I say host rule. The host can allow whoever they're comfortable with. There's enough panels to go around, so we can have some clicks, some authorization. That's not really that big of a deal.
Yeah, I think Hank's right. Hank's in charge today.
Yeah, Hank's consistently, inconsistently consistent.
I don't understand your question, Frank.
Frank, oh, he's trolling you, Chuck.
Okay. I wasn't quite sure what the
Which kind of, for someone that doesn't cam up, to accuse somebody who cams up all the time of avoiding the mirror.
Yeah, really. I mean, I like on the Machine Lies, Fanny Christ and Pinoid try to go for insults with that. And I said, okay, I'm camming up, and they didn't. So pretty much anyone who doesn't panel and doesn't cam up, throwing out
Yeah,
like
he just
insults.
reaching to the bottom of his little troll bag there.
Yeah,
Um,
you're our tricks. You didn't buy
Moose,
some
I
from
Yeah,
mean,
me.
those guys are funny as hell.
Moose, I don't want you to feel like you have to hold back either. Like if you feel like an asshole, just like I feel like I know how to take you. I don't mind people being assholes or being aggressive or frustrated. It's direct acts of aggression, like directed specifically at people for reasons
on a
that target them.
personal level.
It's
Yeah.
not just somebody having a moment. It's when there's a pattern of specific acts taken towards specific people that I have a problem with. And so I don't think I don't want you to feel like you have to hold back. I want people to be themselves on here.
I don't
Yeah,
hold
man.
back. That's for damn sure.
I heard what Moose was saying. At the core of it, what I got was that like direct respect is just going to be. It is more valuable. Just like who recognizes it, I guess. I don't know.
Respect is built over time like trust, and when you have it, when it's real respect, and I've only had it for very few people, it's more precious than anything on earth that I've found. More precious than gold, oil, money, anything. Like when I have when I have that respect and it's legitimate, I will go out of my way to keep it and protect it.
Yeah.
Amen. And I think that people here don't necessarily have to respect each other as a person, but they just respect the conversation. They may respect the place. Like, when you walk into a church, most people aren't getting crazy and throwing shit at each other and knocking each other out and stuff. Like, it's very similar, like it's a different place where you can have like conversations and you can actually you can dive deep into thoughts and like there's people from all walks of life, so there's going to be controversy, and it's like, I think I get a better perspective of life, and I get a better like assortment to choose how I want my life to be and how I want to pattern my life by seeing other people's perceptions of things, and I enjoy just
Well,
being part of it.
so it's this just respecting the space and the community. It's America working like it's supposed to. That you just described America. A free and open society.
So the only example I have to really give on the metaverse right now is like, I don't know, man. The art of listening is kind of like lost, and I'm guilty, of it.
I had
So-
someone come to me a few years ago and wanted me to teach a course on listening. They wanted me to do a training on helping people learn to listen. And I thought about it for a bit and I said, I'm not sure how you teach listening or if it's even possible. I've been listening my whole life. Like, I don't remember learning how to read and I don't remember learning how to listen. It's something I've always known how to do. And so
Ooh.
I'm not sure. Can you
So-
teach that kind of listening? Is it transmissible?
Oh, I
Or
can
is
do
it
that.
just
I
an
totally
art?
could do that. Yeah, I could do that. I just need to figure out the challenges, so I could totally teach that. So I just
To
need to find
listening?
Yeah, absolutely.
Where
Pretty
would you
much.
start?
If
So
you
pretty much.
teach people, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
So where do I start? I'll probably just use Chris Voss's book Never Split the Difference as a basis, because half a negotiation is listening to what the other person actually wants in the first place. So I'll probably use that as a curriculum and maybe pad it up with rules for radicals or something similar. But yeah, so you just listening's just half of the negotiation, if not most of it. So that's why I use.
Because listening is taking in information. And so for some of it is how motivated you are to receive the information in the first place. And I'm a naturally curious person. I love hearing people talk about themselves. So I'm very motivated. And there's like layers to listening. So you have to know what it is you're listening for specifically.
Yeah.
And all the different layers of meaning that could be in what they're communicating.
Yeah. So
I guess it is more complex than it seems.
Yeah, that's why we contextualize it as negotiation. So there's a goal. That way, people can lock in and focus.
Chris Voss, I think was it Bosch or Voss?
Voss.
This one.
Yeah. CHRIS.
See, Hank, you're more aligned than you think. You have more in common than you know. Moose, what were you gonna say?
He has a podcast too on YouTube. So, unfortunately, we get more views than he does. But he does have a show on YouTube and probably other places.
Let me look him up.
I mean, you could listen with observe.
Oh no, because I was listening. You can teach people to listen better because you can teach them to respond instead of react. And so even though that might be a shallow, like they might have a shallow response, like just the art of like practicing responding instead of reacting to what people say, I think that is going to like a muscle. I think it'll build, or at least that's how I
Maybe
feel.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm certainly open to try to. Maybe we could develop a little course or workshop or seminar or webinar or something, and then we could offer it. That could be like a community product that we developed. Because
Yeah.
on my own, I really
Entrepreneurial spirit.
struggled when I was asked to teach people how to listen. I'm not people in general. I don't think are. I think they listen for different reasons, and once those reasons are met, that's as far as their listening goes.
Exactly.
So it's like, what do they value? So I guess you would have to teach them value
And how do you teach
because
value? Like,
No, no, I wouldn't.
okay, I don't know how
I
you
just give
teach
I
them
give them
value.
a goal and a reason to listen. Then we'll play for that goal. It'll be a
that is the
game.
value, the
Goal
reason
is
to
the
Yeah.
listen.
value.
Because I do think that
So
it,
it's reverse psychology then. To teach someone how to listen, you as the speaker need to figure out what they want and how to deliver it to them in the way they want it. That's
yeah,
how you teach someone to
that's
listen. You
what the
become a better
sophists
speaker.
and the rhetoricians worked on.
Well, it's
Um,
really hard to teach anybody anything. Like I could teach a kid how to tie their shoes, but they actually have to learn it like with their brain.
Yeah, true. But I have an easier time. I'm literally a corporate trainer, so I kind of have an idea where to start. And I mean, yesterday I trained someone who didn't know how to load. Who usually worked the slide to load on the van line. What made it very quick for me is because I had job aids. I had guides that made one I found and one I made myself. That's what I can so they have a they can visualize the
Okay.
layout and what how to set it up. Most people don't think at that far ahead, so they can't. So they have to talk out all the little details instead of just show them. So that's why I have an easier I can train faster.
So
because you can train like large groups of people in one thing because they learn similar ways and stuff. So you can do this kind of group training.
Yeah,
And
I don't literally don't have access to group training, but I could train individuals really fast because I have job aids I made myself.
oh, you're talking about individual. These are individuals that not. It's not a group.
Yes, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
It's if I have a group, it's they don't really give me more than three at a time.
Jack. Because for me, with the listening thing, I think I could do it on an individual level, and then I would have to induct from there and extrapolate some larger way to teach it to a group. But if an individual came to me and said, I would like to learn to listen better, I could explore that person's, like, what's keeping that person from listening in the way they want to? What are their listening goals? And it would be different for each person. But then if enough people, if 100 people, individuals came to me, from that 100, I could notice some broad patterns that I might be able to address on a higher scale than just the individual. But if somebody's trying to learn to listen, I would
would
have
it
to work with them on an individual basis and determine the individual factors involved in their goals, which are going to be different for each person.
So how long would it take you to figure out the goals?
Well, they would not very long. I could do that in one sitting.
Yeah, me too.
It's just talking to them and figure out what they're trying. Like, why are they listening? Like Lanza said, it's going to involve value in some kind of way. It's going to involve their goal. What are they?
or like
What are they
misunder?
list? What is the reason that they want to listen better?
Well, it's that they're misunderstanding value more than likely. Like I learned that like an actual retarded person, like they're not going to start a war. You know, I didn't. Um,
Intentionally.
there's just
I
things you can.
disagree.
There's things you can. Well, I mean, You don't know the retarded people I know then. But like, if you we
Different
can joke.
retarded circles.
We could joke and say all the people in like politics are retarded. I mean, I'm not against that, but it's just like learning things from like situations that don't require your input. Maybe they require your participation to see, but they don't really require your, like, I didn't have to like input anything to get the fact that somebody I know, like, who is physically disabled is not going to start a war.
Rosemary, I'm not sure.
Well, I'm less worried about wars being started and just figuring out how to help integrate,
Well,
like find jobs,
where
integrate to
communication
society.
ends is where war begins.
Yeah.
Well,
Which is what.
if that's the criteria for war, then I've seen plenty of wars start here, and mostly
Yeah.
between other spurgs. So we're not very good at not starting wars with each other.
Yeah, except for me, because I have an open access policy, and which is why most of the trolls just leave me alone. Also, if they want to go for a word fight, I'll dominate them.
Well, the advantage to you too is you're able to argue through it. Like sometimes when we are getting tangled up and we have our little tete-a-tetes, you're able to keep the dialogue going and realize where we're going off track and what we're mishearing about each other, and then get back on track. You're like able to talk through it.
Yes.
Oh well, we have here's a counterfactual for you.
Yep.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. I mean that is that guy's judging of what I said, which means he didn't listen.
Daniel,
So,
you fail.
You get
remedial listening for you.
Well, the counterfactual means
million things wrong with what everyone says. I'm a good listener.
All right, we can just believe you. We don't have to look at the facts. We'll just pretend what you said makes sense.
I think a lot of people do that too.
You just had to listen. You didn't have to pretend.
I think
nothing.
People pretend to hear, like they play along like they hear, and you never know if they really hear or not. And that makes it hard for listening as well.
Yes. So what I do to actually teach that, you have them teach back to you what you attempted to show them to confirm that they actually understood.
So patronizing to me to ask.
Well, it is, but how else are you going to know for sure?
I guess you don't. But people never ask that of me, and they somehow can safely assume that. Like, because if somebody asked me now, can you just repeat what I just said to you?
No.
That would be the last conversation they ever have.
No. That's not. No, that's not how you do it.
What did you say, No, I'm kidding.
No, you don't. That's not how you do it. What you do is you come back like an hour or two and ask them, "Do you remember where this goes?"
Yes, in the 70s.
Yeah,
dude,
that's when you find out they
fire.
never listened in the first place.
Exactly. Yeah, or if they're not listening, all you need to do is watch them. But you just need to come back like in an hour.
Yeah, I was looking for a way to dreamlight it more and involve them more consciously in the collaboration.
Yeah. But yeah,
I have to do that kind of soft babysitting all the time, where I notice the gap between what I'm aware of and what they're aware of.
Exactly. The soft babysitting. Pretty much, first of all, you show them around everything you think they need to know. Then you come back every once in a while and check to see if everything's in the right spot, and also make sure they are always willing to ask you questions, which it makes it less patronizing for me.
Do you guys think you could fool a blind person with an off-brand Coca-Cola?
No.
I don't trust myself to know.
Okay, just curious.
I don't trust myself to fool anybody about anything. That's part of my problem.
Because like blind people can't see the world around them, and they need people to like describe what's going on. So they're actually really, really good listeners. And so if you're describing things to a blind person, I heard one person tell a story where the blind person got mad because the person telling them what was around them was saying, "Oh, there's a fence, it's white, there's a house here on the left, it used to be owned by this family." The guy goes, "I don't care about any of that. Just tell me what it just tell me what it looks like. Just tell me what it is." You know what I mean? All those extra details and shit that
All the
like
stuff I dying to know. Yeah.
yeah.
All the important stuff. There's probably little games too you could play where you like have objects and colors and you have to describe to the person and you see if they pass off the right
Hmm.
thing or like there's probably fun little ways to
What
see what your listening capacity is.
what if like conditioning, I'm not blaming, but what if conditioning or like the people who set up like educational systems, obviously they're not perfect, but I'm not trying to hate on them, but like what if they set everything up like knowing like, oh, this will delineate people's attention. If we say the president, the for whatever of allegiance, if we say, you know, like that kind of shit is like, if we said
We
something
said it. I was
different,
fine. I mean,
dude, I stopped saying. I mean, I don't even give a shit. I stopped saying the Pledge of Allegiance like early, bro. Like
I mean,
sixth
by the time
grade.
we were in junior high school, we were mumbling through it. It didn't have any
Well, I wanted
heart
to
or
know. I was like, do I have to say this? Get it? Like, what the
ours
fuck
was
is
always
this?
optional.
And the teacher was like, no, you don't have to say it. I was like, oh, why didn't you just tell me this like 5 years ago?
You didn't ask.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, also they didn't inquire that any of the students would even have the aptitude to question the reality that they've been fed.
Yeah, which is why we'll blame them.
Who, teachers?
Absolutely.
I
Nah,
do know that when I was teaching the theory was, and video game designers do this as well, but they have an idea of like the standard neurotypical attention span, like how much attention it could be expected to give to any one subject. So they divide their teachings and their curriculums to take things like that into account. And video game designers do the same thing. They know how much attention you're going to have to give to this one thing and when to switch it to something else, etc. So there are people that study that kind of stuff and incorporate it into methods. But I don't know if that's conditioning I don't think they're doing it for nefarious purposes. I think they're trying to optimize their educational attempts to the human brain. But then, of course, I'm the one that said the Pledge of Allegiance and was programmed to trust the government and feel patriotic. So it could be my American bias.
yeah,
Yeah,
patriotism is
maybe it's just even
scary.
go back into teaching.
I thought about I don't think they're going to let me anywhere near kids or in the school because I already freak out the adults, so they're definitely not going to want me around their kids. But I did think of things like training. Like if a company has some training needs, I could definitely communicate information effectively.
People are so careless. I don't think they'll even check. So
I'm really good in a classroom or in a mental health facility. Those are my areas of strength.
I think the same thing happened eons ago. I think to know exactly, you'd have to read up some mo. Because I heard every day technology speeds up some mo. I heard
Everything's moving online.
some roll with demons and angels and ghosts.
Hey, Zato, it looks like you're trying to connect. I hope that's you in a loony bin. I have. We had when I was in the loony bin, I did make that. We had it was called OT, occupational therapy, and they had us do these little projects like latch hook and rugs and pottery and ceramics, and one of them was basket. I think I still have my little box. It was a box and you weave the reeds, and then you weave the lid, and then I think you attach the lid to the thing. It was very therapeutic. So yeah, I probably could teach that.
They say the truth may be hard to swallow depending the size of the pill, and by the looks, it's about the time that you had your prescription filled.
Well, I say truth is just a feeling.
I say truth is just another word for nothing left to live for,
I say
or
Chuck
nothing left
and
to lose,
Moose are the truth.
or is that the same thing?
What kind of truth?
That's a good
Well,
point. What
you
kind of
guys are
truth?
actually all truth. It's just to varying degrees.
Zato, are you with us? Zat,
Yeah,
sorry. Okay,
I
welcome.
think I've given more of myself to the internet than anybody.
You are probably right. For your
I,
generation, I'm twice your age, so I probably have. I've just been doing it longer, but you're probably right. I would not want to go up against anybody in this panelverse for amount of hours spent on the internet. I think
Yeah,
you're all very
no,
fierce
I wasn't.
competition.
I
I'm
didn't mean
not.
like hours spent. I meant
Hey, you're on.
like putting my like putting the insides on the table and letting people like dissect it and whatnot.
You have.
Oh, dude, yeah, I pretty much told every embarrassing story that I could pull out of the woodwork. Yeah, yeah, everything. Like I put it pretty much all on the table. I even like told everybody about my life, like 100% true. And then like once I like realized not everybody's your friend, that's when I started like playing a character and kind of like deflecting and stuff like that. But now I'm back to just being myself because it's like whatever. Nobody can really do anything to you as long as you don't harm anybody.
That's that. I've always said you would make an excellent peer supporter, and that's that peer support. That's what we do is our stories. Like we share our stories with other people in the hopes that it helps them. Like our experiences can help somebody else. And yeah, when you make yourself vulnerable like that, you're taking a risk. When you show people your like the chinks in your armor, they will attack them.
It's a good thing so many people are slow, so they don't actually do any damage to me.
Yeah, Hank puts it right on the table, lets everybody know everything, and like they still are too slow to like get them.
I've been saying that for ever since he started. Me and Hank started in the Panelverse about the same time, and from the start, I knew what Hank was and what he
Yes,
was up to, and it
yes,
amazes me how people. I think I'm the only one that sees the real Hank. It amazes me how charmed he has everybody.
yeah. They know pretty much everything except for this password. So if you can read minds, tell me this password, please. The one in the back of this card here. So
Would it be reading minds or reading?
you're
Because you
reading
would
some.
have it in your. We wouldn't need
You're
it to
reading
paper.
something.
It would
You're
just
read.
be in your head.
I just need you to read something. I need you to open a book and read something.
Well, you'll have to go back and watch the many streams. He is Hank's very open about what he is and what his goals and agendas are.
Oh, I'll just tell King Philip again. He's not gonna pay attention anyways. So the agenda is I'm training to do mind control, also known as communication, and I'm using the panel versus my I guess gem. So
Yep.
that's what I'm up to. I need a good personality model though, so I'm still shopping around. That way I
He's
can.
your garden variety Machiavel, narcissist, sociopathic, Discordian, trying to get laid.
Yeah, of
And
course.
running experiments to mind control all of us on his path to world domination.
Well, multiverse domination. I don't want too much of this world because it's kind of garbage. I'm gonna be honest. Most of this world's kind of garbage. I don't want most of it. I just need enough to build a hub area.
I think that's all any of us could really ask for at this point. fixed.
But yeah, I'm anchored here, so I need to build a hub area here till I can re-anchor myself somewhat.
And it seems
somewhat
like
better.
you are. You're pretty networked since you've been doing the panelverse.
Yes. And most of the trolls I ran to don't want to attack me anymore because it's a painful
It's not
experience to
worth
get that retaliation.
Yeah, you like the butterfly that it's too bitter for the birds to even fuck with.
Yeah, I'm the
Then they
moth.
have the other butterfly that imitates the bitter one, hoping the birds won't fuck with it too.
Yeah, I'm the moth.
Well, is that it for today? It looks like
Yes.
we might be coming up on completion energy.
King Philip, do you understand what I'm up to? Hurry up and fix Jack. I'm working on it. I'm working. In fact, he's most of the way fixed. He's most of the way fixed. Pussy Paul left him alone.
PP.
This
King,
is
King
the
Steven moved on to the Bathtub Boys.
Bathtub
Matt,
Boys.
yeah, I all I need to do is get Jack on the TED Talk and he's done.
what's the
Jack
bathtub boys?
Talcott on the TED Talk to end wars and legal secrets. Boom.
Actually, okay, I gotta give Jack his credit. I'm reading about Christianity right now because I'm trying to get to know Jesus, and there are actually two different types, and they were both kind of there from the beginning. One of them is the exalted type, where the good news is here, it is manifest, the divine, and it's happened now. And then there's the other, that's the dualistic type, where it started the process but it's not guaranteed, and they still need the work of mankind. That's where you get the spiritual war and the end times and stuff like that. So both of those versions of Christianity kind of exist, but that exalted type is exactly the type that Jack Talcott looks like he participates in, and it is about peace, no more wars. There's a new paradigm for human existence. Everything that he describes on his show is showing up in this exalted
But wait, hold on.
Christianity. So
Where the
he
hell are
has
you
he has
reading
firm
this?
historical roots for his beliefs.
But
Yes,
where
yes,
are
he
you
does.
reading this?
I'm getting this particular. I'm in several books right now, but this is coming out of this Passion of the Western Mind that I've been going through. It's kind of a little intellectual history
But what
introduction.
about the Bible? Like,
Well, yeah, I
you know
think
what I
that's in
mean?
the Bible too, because a lot of what this is based on is the Bible as the source.
I know, but people misconstrue what the Bible says. Like, there's stuff in the Bible that can support both sides.
Yeah,
Right. I'm just saying that one of those sides is this legitimate idea that there will be no more
Oh,
wars,
gotcha.
that Christ is, and so Jack is less crazy than he seems, because that's been going, people have been thinking like that for thousands of years, and it is an authentic tradition that shows up at the beginnings of Christianity.
yeah. You can read your Bible, use your brain too.
He does. We all do.
Yeah,
We all
yeah.
do
Because
that.
I'm also one of those exalted type Unitarian Universalists, or assume everyone's saved because what sense would it make if they weren't? If God's
We're
omnipotent,
living in post salvation. We should be
yeah,
enjoying our new life in Christ.
yeah. Just think about it. If
Because
God's
it's
omnipotent,
happening now. You just have to open yourself to it. It's
yeah.
here.
Just think about it. If God's omnipotent and wants to save everyone, then everyone's saved. Period. So
Right. Except for the dualistic antithesis that Paul also wove into Christianity as he was developing this exalted type. He did it very shrewdly and for political reasons, because he saw the consequences of everybody believing that they didn't have to do anything anymore because salvation was already here. So he did like carrot and stick. So that was the carrot, and then he created the stick version at the same time. But wait, it's not guaranteed. You still have some responsibility to do some things, and here's what they are.
and Paul just wants some dono money.
Paul is an interesting, complex person, like so many of us, and he would fit right up here in the Panelverse, I believe.
Probably you'd be one of the big grifters.
All right.
Yeah,
Speaking
that
of
would be an
war,
interesting
hold
thing
on,
to ask
folks.
him, Daniel, because
Can
I
I
don't
get
know
30
how
seconds here?
biblically based he is. I rarely hear him talk about Revelations. Um, but that is interesting. Is there going to need to be a final war before the No More War, or is peace like the peace process itself? Because it's this mass spiritual awakening that also happens on the individual level, and that is going to take away the impulse or desire for war to
Let,
begin with. And so,
okay.
will that
Eh,
necessitate not having a final war?
so Daniel, how many wars? How many more wars do you want? We can negotiate. How many wars do you want? But you just need to fund them.
Because Hank's
How,
going to be in charge of the world
We've
soon
we're gonna
anyway.
end the war in Ukraine, and that's the end of all wars. So give me 30 seconds. I
Shoot.
need everybody out there in the audience. I need you to hit that like button because you guys are seriously slacking. I know it's hard. I know
He
it's hard
said
to
that,
hit
not
that
me.
like, but it ain't. It's not hard. It doesn't cost you a thing. For all the grifters out there, I'm gonna grift for your likes, grift for your dollars. I'll grift for everything. You want to send me Bitcoin? Go ahead, but you also have to send some to Jeff. All right. So once you're done hitting that like button, make sure you hit a comment after this is over. And oh, you guys are all subscribed, so I'm out of here. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Moose. Take care. Oops. Oh, did Hank?
no,
Are
I'm
you there
still
too?
here. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
still here.
I couldn't find you.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
you put yourself there. But yeah, Daniel, if you think we need more wars or something, just make your proposal. I just need to know how many more wars you need, and then we can get them scheduled and we can do them. And just tell us what do you want to fire it? Do you want to use rocks and sticks like the what's supposed to be the Fourth World War? We get the weapons out. Make sure to get the contractors in. Get this, we have to schedule it. Then we can do that last war you want. Then we can be done with the wars. So just need to just email me at aflamo3@gmail.com. Then we can figure out that war. How about that?
Yep. Get with Hank. He's our new secretary for the Ministry of Peace. All right. That's it for today, I guess. The new season of Big Brother started. We're on the. They did the premiere last week, so we're just one episode in. So we're going to be watching that in the Discord later this afternoon, probably about 6 p.m. ish Central Time, and maybe some other things too. I've been watching some Bible lectures from Northrop Frye. They're very nerdy, but if you're into the Bible, they're pretty interesting. So I might be watching some of those too. And I may be back tonight. If not, I'll be here again tomorrow. Let's see. Hang on. Okay, I'll let that one go. Rob Bell, is he a YouTuber? Let me look him up now. I just assume every new name that I don't know is a YouTube streamer. Rob Bell. He's some Jesus guru that ended his spiritual work, got permission from Jesus to end his spiritual work. Okay, I'll check him out. I have his channel. Yeah, I'll check him out and see what he's about. I'll go. I'm on a quest for Jesus. I feel like it's strange because Jesus he was like what AI is today. He's what you talk to as a kid. Like he was like your supernatural AI companion. And when there was no adults, or sometimes like you talk to him about things you didn't necessarily talk to adults about, or even your friends. He was like your little personal confidant. He was there at any time. He was virtual. And then at some point, I stopped needing that conversation, but I started picking it up again just as an experiment. And it's taking me back to the memories of when I used to do that as a kid. And he's really the only supernatural being or entity I've ever attempted to have a conversation with ever. And it was totally normal as a kid to do so. I talk to him every night before I go to sleep. Um, so when I'm doing this Jesus quest, it's turning out that there's like at least 7 different Jesuses, because you have the 4 Gospels with their versions. You have Paul. Luke and Acts they think is one person, so that's like one Jesus, and then you have John, the Jesus of Revelation. Is that 7? So in the New Testament alone, there's 7 different versions of Jesus, and I don't know the different versions. That's what I'm learning. And then I have the version I used to talk to. So I want to try to see if that matches up to one of the 7, or if that's an 8th version, because ultimately we all have our own Jesus. And if you live in America, that's the American Jesus. The Jesus that loves each one of us individually and personally, and that we walk and talk with when we're alone. That is a separate Jesus from even the biblical Jesus. That's more like the Walt Whitman type of Jesus. And so I'm interested to see which Jesus I spontaneously grew up with and interacted with, this like AI Jesus, and how he what parallels he has with these 7 biblical Jesuses. But the whole point of the process of getting to know Jesus is because it's a path to getting to know the self, which is very satanic. And so like Jesus could actually be a path to a deeper understanding of my own Satanism, which is why I call myself a Christian Satanist. And so I'm hoping at the end of this Jesus quest, if I don't have Jesus himself, I at least have a clear understanding of my own self. And so that's what this project is about. And I'll give you updates as I go through it. All right, that's it for me today. And hang on. Okay, yep, that's it for me today. I'll be back tonight and or tomorrow. Yes, they do. They do, because they're not, the Gospels are not history. They're not even chronicle. They're not the correspondent type of truth, that second type that we talk about. It's a mythological story type metaphorical truth. And this is really coming through in those biblical lectures I'm watching on Northrop Frye. It that's another thing I'm learning through this like exploring Jesus. It's not a rational, logical way of thinking. It's a different way of conceiving and feeling. And if you can shift your brain into that mode, it all starts to make sense, even with the contradictions. Because it's not about the type of truth that you and I think of when we think of truth, if that helps. But yeah, more or less on the earthly level, I agree with you about this. They were all written decades after Jesus' death, if that's what even happened. And I think that the Pauline epistles, Paul's writings, were some of the earliest. And even that was like a generation or 2 after his death. All right, I'll leave you with that. Happy Christ is King, Christ is Lord, hell Satan, whatever religion you follow or none at all. Be yourself. Be cool. Be good-ish. In the sense of Eddie Murphy's evil is good. And peace out. Peace out. See how appropriate. Peace out. Bye.